It is StarFinder, the Fragments of Eternity, Session 9. Probably didn't say that in Part 1. This is now Part 2. I am Ryan, the GM. It's the 26th of November 2018. I am still ill. Here are the players, in order.
I'm Olka. I play your psychic girl, Emmelyn, who is a Lashunta pilot.
I am Nico. I play Zora, the Vest Captain.
I'm Alex. I play Nix5, the android mechanic.
I am Calum, and I am still playing Zigg, the greatest space rat to ever have graced this party.
Who may or may not be precious again. We'll find out. Stay tuned, crew believers.
Changed his name, so he's got back up.
We also have... that was me that did that, Nico. Smashed like buttons. Hope I'm well for next week, I guess.
I hope you're well for next week.
Me too, honestly.
I
Thank you.
hope so too.
I hope you're well tomorrow.
Thank you. Alex wins.
I
Well
will.
done. Well done, Alex. You have won.
Boom.
You've won RP.
Promotion!
Goodbye. Doo-doo. Yeah, welcome back everybody who listens. Good.
Hi, Nick.
Hello, Nick.
Hi, Nick!
Nick.
And all the other listeners that we have also. Thank you, everybody. We do love you, whoever you may
Shoris
be.
is listening. Hi, Shoris.
And hello, Shoris. Hashtag Shoris is precious.
Send us your names and we'll shout out or something.
Yeah, I mean, comment now. We'll give you shout-outs next week. Sure. Why
You
not?
can find me on Twitter at twitter.com// I don't know what my Twitter
I
thing
mean,
is. Never mind.
I guess I'm Viktor Triumph everywhere, right? So, yep.
I think it's
find
at
me.
Calum Blaine, so
there we
nice
are.
and easy.
Anyway, part 2. Here we are. So, we focus in on Zigg and Nix5 because I'm that guy. What he's up to? What he's doing? Heading back to the ship or going to go look for more info?
Would Zigg know anyone? To be more informative.
Zigg would know people, but I don't think he would openly admit that.
'Cause I don't
Because
think...
who's more powerful than Zigg?
Zigg the Great
Apart
and
from the
Mighty.
Zigg, the mighty Zigg. So I think,
Blood.
yeah, I'd probably just turn around and say we should probably just head back to the ship.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think Nix would necessarily know immediately where to look for things.
So what do you say then? Let's be first person.
Oh no.
I think we should head back to the ship.
I agree, Zigg.
That was easy.
Session 9, when everybody forgot how to RP.
There's not much else we can do with the information we have now.
No, and I'm not sure where else to look, to be honest. So I feel like we should probably regroup with everyone and see if they can help out.
Is there anybody that you'd ask in person?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't think Nix would necessarily know
Yeah,
anyone.
like if
of
it's
those
maybe like
functionalities.
sourcing spare bits for the exhaust ports in the ship, yeah, maybe Zix. Yeah, there you go. There's your shipping name, Zix.
Zix.
It's kind of awesome, isn't it? Actually,
Medkit.
ZYX. Yep, we've got a shipping name now. Brilliant.
So it begins.
Yep.
I expect all the fan art.
I don't even know what genre that counts as.
I don't. So yeah, I guess it's kind of some kind of weird furry objectophilia, right? So things I never wanted my brain to think about. But no, like you guys can obviously head back to the ship via anywhere you really want to go in the station. You can go speak to people if you want to go try and chat people up. But like the problem is that, yeah, I agree. Nix is probably versed in, if we need to get a spare part for the ship, I know where to go. Whereas Zigg is a 12-year-old guy that's just kind of graduated from solar school. So, you know, who do you know, right? And if so, would you go
other
and speak
than
to them?
people at solar school?
Yeah, right. But I mean, there's nothing to stop you saying to the gang, by the way, to learn more about this, maybe we need to go to the sun. How much they believe you, right? Because it's you.
Is there a solar school outreach centre? on Absalom.
I mean,
I don't know. Is there?
there is probably people from the Sun here, but like there'll be representatives and stuff. But it doesn't necessarily mean it'll be people with Zigg knows. Do you know what I mean?
No, I feel like the Zigg's connections pretty much consist of people at the temple.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
more detail of that
just
to follow in the
to follow,
prequels.
yes.
But yeah.
In which case, I think we're probably just heading back to the ship. Go get our
Yeah.
tinfoil.
Mm-hmm.
Get our tinfoil. Build our conspiracy tracker thing.
I kind of love it. I'm not gonna lie. What if you rolled in that 20 on it though? It would do something. That's what I love
It's
about
gonna-
it.
It's going to be our best meta device.
Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, you can start heading back to the ship. Zora, you probably get back to the ship first, I imagine. Like maybe we've just got the scene of like you heading up the ramp, dragging this just pile of crap in a tinfoil like sack, essentially. So yeah, I think maybe Alice is just kind of standing in the like cargo hold. Kind of waves at you as you come up.
Would kind of be like probably just almost huffing and puffing at this point. Probably just drag it up, like gear like a sort of just hand up wave, not really effortless. Not really pay her any attention.
Like as soon as you get like maybe say a couple of meters in front of her, she looks like so excited to see someone. Like she's where like it's like a puppy got excited because obviously you're back from the mystery door. She looks kind of excited. You can kind of see her almost kind of like you can see the weight on the suit shift from foot to foot without it lifting, you know. And then she kind of like clearly desperately looks like she wants you to ask her something.
Hi, Alice.
Hello, Captain, and then does like a big salute.
That's it.
And she
That's
kind of
the
looks at her
box.
hand and she's like, do Vesk salute? And she holds up the other hand awkwardly, just like looks between her hands and then kind of looks at you, but still kind of excited.
I'm probably.
Like you can clearly tell she's not really caring about the answer to that question as well. Like you just know that she's kind of waiting for you to make the socially acceptable motions that she can continue.
I would answer it anyway because that's
Yeah, of course, yeah.
salute. That's not a Veskian salute. Like what's that?
What is a Vesk salute then? Talk me through
I
that.
don't
Is it
have
like
a
a closed
clue.
fist, like pounding over the heart, or what?
Let's do that, right? Because it seems like it seems like half an hour trying to figure out what a vessel is. So let's do
Yeah,
that.
but instead of like shaking someone's hand or hugging them, maybe like that's what you do is like you do that kind of fist pump over their heart thing. You know, like you just kind of hit them on the chest.
Yeah, let's do like a double-handed one, right? Because it's just more aggressive.
Mhm.
So I don't know why.
Yeah, like you're almost King Konging their chest in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, that works. That's pretty
Feels
cool.
like the Hydra.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I like it. So,
Yeah.
Hail the Viscarium. So that's good. But yeah, so maybe you teach her that, and like you hit off her like her, her armored chest, and then she looks down and she goes, "Okay," and then like hits you back, and like there's some force behind this. Like there's like, she's a tough girl, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
But it's one of those things where
it's-
instinctually it gives you that nostalgia of that's actually quite a welcome greeting, being hit quite roughly in the chest, right, for the Vesk. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, enjoy your first day of school, like from your mother, and she like punches you in the chest and off you go because you feel proud that she felt like you could take the punch that probably really hurt.
So,
They're not in the EU, don't worry. They don't have that no hitting your child rules. Not to get too political, oh my god.
I mean,
Quickly pick sides.
toughens them up, right? Toughens them up.
Yeah, right? It's who tougher than
Don't
Vesk
become
mothers?
like me, like you don't become like me if you have a nice childhood,
That's it. But yeah, like, so as you've kind of like showed her that, she's like, so I learned something new today besides the Vesk salute. And she kind of like looks at you eagerly.
Would raise my ocular ridge.
She kind of like leans in a little, and you hear like the pneumatics of the suit, and she kind of like winks her holographic display, and then leans back. She's like, "Do you want to see it?"
I would nod.
That kind of like slow nod of, "Do I?"
Yes.
Yeah. She's like, "Look what I have found out." And then she like puts her hands to the sides, like either side, and then you see like all of the suit ripple, like almost mechanically, as if it's reconfiguring, and it takes the form of a much slender woman. So it's no longer a big,
That's-
bulky, clunky suit of armor. It's now like quite a nice, like slender female frame.
Probably just raise a finger and just like that's handy.
She looks so impressed, and she twirls on the spot. She's like, "Look." And like the actual like hologram is kind of like projected over the faceplate of this now, so that's almost like it's projected over the black metal, which is now like again like almost like a bald female kind of frame of a head,
Okay. Okay.
almost like a bit like
Wow.
a store mannequin, but a bit more kind of almost like faceted, I guess is the best way to put it.
This should be a bit easier to hide now, I suppose.
And she's like, "Well, I wasn't thinking that, but I did realise that the suit was empty, so there was a lot of wasted space." And she kind of like points to like her stomach.
Just kind of nod, like, yeah, that makes sense.
Like,
He doesn't know about these things.
she kind of just nods, like as if the fact that you have nodded has made her feel better about the whole thing. So she nods. It's like, "What did you do?" As if that was her exciting news for the day. "What did you do?"
I would just kind of look down at the big tinfoil sack.
She kind of like looks at it excited and goes, and then kind of like looks at you for like an answer, but obviously waits to see if you're actually going to give her one because she doesn't know what that means.
Supplies.
And she kind of looks at it, looks up, and you can see that she's thinking about saying something, then she doesn't say something, and she goes, "Okay," and just kind of nods.
So, didn't touch anything while I was away, did you?
I really can't promise that.
I would
She
sigh.
kind of like smiles and like winks.
I would sigh again.
Mhm.
I feel like if this did that, I would just kind of like give like a sort of a hand wave and just start dragging stuff to where I need to go. It's like I've been dragging this for like miles. I want this. Why did I get abandoned to deal with this? Don't other people usually do this? Not the captain.
Fine, this is
I'm
is your
such a
jam,
good captain. I'm such a nice captain, right? But yeah. Probably this is what's going through my head right now. There we go. Like, it's not entirely out of character.
I mean, but we'll find out, right? The yeah. So like, how long are you just gonna stand weirdly awkwardly with her in the cargo hold? Because she's
that's what
just
I'm saying.
super pleased, right?
That's what I'm saying. After she was like, gave us the wink and a side twice, I just kind of like shook my head and started walking away with the stuff. Like, give her like a wave.
Excellent. Good, good. Let me just click that so everybody can see that in the stream.
Oh, nice.
Again, I don't necessarily have a like. There's the art for it. Let me just stretch this out. That there is where this came from. So enjoy, everyone. Let's just. Does that work? There we go. So something similar to that, kind of not exactly that, but like instead of the glowing kind of cyan eyes, you've got the faceplate, the kind of weirdly orange and purpley faceplate from the hologram, and she's got herself a slightly more slender build. There we go. Excellent. So she's adapting, you know, she's leveling up. Right. Yeah. So what else do you do?
Yeah. I'll probably dump this stuff. Take my own stuff, obviously.
Mhm.
It's my mate's stuff. And I'll probably like dump the rest of the stuff where everybody else would see it. I'm it's like, that's their stuff.
I'll just dump it at the back of the cargo hold then.
Yeah, probably.
This nebulously large cargo hold full of 34 boxes of grain, apparently.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's a lot of grain. It'll be handy, Andy. Just you wait. Just you wait.
Wow.
It's going to blindside you. That grain is going to blindside you.
I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. I think we know. Right, okay, yeah. So what do you do? You're on the ship, you dump the stuff. What's Zora's plan?
I don't know. I guess he would probably go chill at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's been busy, right? You went out to get food because you were hungry, so...
Probably go like to the mess, get some, like probably gorge because he's
Aye.
a gorger.
Yeah.
Then probably just go chill. I don't know. He'd probably just sit about in the mess, just laze about for a while.
It's probably nice having it to yourself for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that works. I think, yeah, like, probably some time passes, and then maybe if that's when we've got Zigg and Nyx heading back, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you guys can definitely be heading back up the ramp, obviously. You obviously see a slender black figure you don't recognise, you know?
Yeah, I'd probably be taken aback, for one.
I mean, yeah, you've never seen Alice, right?
I've never seen anything that's not part of the crew on the ship, other than things for jobs.
So yeah, that'll be interesting. But obviously, you don't have the wait, this isn't quite the Alice I remember moment, because obviously this is the first time you've seen her. You'll only see the slender female version of her with the glowing kind of holographic faceplate over the front of her.
I'm assuming Nyx being slightly more ahead on the game would pick up that it's...
I mean, it looks like Alice,
Yes.
right? It looks
Yeah.
more like Alice than the big clunky armor did. So
Yes, she's slowly adapting it. It's,
I mean, weirdly, she almost like she looks probably more like you, if anything, right?
copycat. No. Everyone shall end up looking like me, it'll be fine.
The great singularity.
Yes, I think Nick should probably just kind of nod at Alice as he walks up to the ship.
Mhm. Like, she just looks super excited. Like, she kind of like, you clearly see like she's standing as if trying to show off new things, right? So yeah, like, in that kind of obvious way of, please say that you like my shoes, that you can clearly see, you know, type vibe of a person.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide whether Nick should pick up
Yeah,
on
like,
that.
I mean, that's entirely totally up to Nyx, because I think that's kind of perfect, right? If he did or didn't notice, because...
Given the rest of our interactions.
Mhm. Well, you have a think about that. What's Zigg doing when he sees this figure?
I think.
Has anyone
initially-
actually told Zigg about Alice? No, right?
No.
No.
I think an AI was mentioned, and that's about it. So I think initially he's.
I mean,
very
she might be the
startled.
shiny thing that you think they were mentioning, right?
Oh yeah, I suppose.
Mm.
But no, yeah, he'd definitely be startled, and I think he'd kind of hide a wee bit behind Nyx 5. But then, when he kind of sees that Nyx 5 just kind of nods at Alice, I think he'd kind of scurry over to her.
Okay.
And just kind of like look up at her and kind of like circle round her, the sort of like a way like an intrigued dog would.
Yeah, and I think like as you
see
do, like,
something new.
as you scurry towards her, like she gets quite excited and like leans in and goes, "Oh, it's a this thing!" and puts her hands out to like lift you. Do you get lifted or do you like back off or?
Yeah, I think he'd get lifted. I think he's used to.
Yeah, like so, like she like
Actually quite
leans down
enjoy
and
that.
almost like goes to lift as if it's a new puppy, but she goes to say, "Oh, it's a this thing," but obviously doesn't know what to call you, and then picks you up and then looks at you, and then kind of turns and looks at Nyx as if proud somehow.
Zigg, this is Alice. She was the AI on the space station. I guess she's now the AI on this space station.
She then turns around and looks at you, Zigg, and goes, "Hi, I'm Alice. I was the AI on the space station. I think I still am." And she just nods and smiles.
I think I look at Alice and go, "You're quite shiny."
Thank you. She kind of look as if she's working out if she should have thanked you for that, but at the same time just smiling kind of pleasantly.
I think Zigg would try and kind of like I assume she's kind of, if she's holding him up, she's holding him out like sort of like arm's length.
Literally like someone awkwardly holding a baby. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he'd try and scramble across like one of her arms, like trying to scurry out of her arms, try and like climb up her arm a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it would be a bit awkward because you're quite big.
Yeah.
Versus the fact that she
Yes.
has like a normal arm now.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean like you can have scurried onto her back or something.
Yeah. And just kind of like sort of just investigate and like have just like a keep like kind of moving that way, the head sort of jittering, like looking at everything as he's kind of just scurrying around like onto her back and then like,
I think, like, as you
back
sound-
onto the floor and
As you like scurry onto her back, like the holographic faceplate disappears, so it's just like the black, almost mannequin face, and then like it flickers, and next to it is like the kind of orange AI-shaped Alice everybody else is used to, from the station, like projecting from the suit, and she kind of just stands looking at what you're doing to the suit, as if like, wait, what's this thing crawling all over me? So it's as if she's projecting out of the suit, looking back at it.
all right, okay. I don't think Zigg would notice because I think the suit's a wee bit too intriguing.
Well, I mean, it is like a
to-
glowing
to
orange
look
light, so I mean, if anything, I think
Oh,
Zigg
is it?
probably would
All right.
notice. I mean, keep
Oh,
in
yeah,
mind that
yeah.
if I open the handout for it every day, remember, the Alice AI is that.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Then I think he would notice actually. Then you just
I was
kind
going to say, yeah, it's
kind of
exactly the colour scheme
drop
that
to
I
the
think you
floor.
would have noticed.
Yes. Kind of drop to the floor and run over to the projection.
Yeah, I think as you head into it, like you kind of like go through it, and it does that flickering thing where it's trying to maintain its frame, and then I think she just like flickers out and goes back into the suit. The faceplate wakes up and she looks back down at you, and she kind of like smiles, and then just kind of like weirdly waves in that really awkward way of like waving from like the hip.
I think Zigg would kind of like cock his head to one side and wave back with like just that sort of kind of childish grin on his face,
Okay, yeah.
and then scurry off and try and find the captain because he assumes the captain is either en route or on the ship.
Yeah, you can obviously assume that if you wish, yeah. Are you doing anything on the ship specifically?
Well, I just want to get the shiny thing so I can build the tracker with Nick.
Yeah, I think that was gonna be our focus.
Amazing.
Building our ludicrous.
Well, there's a giant tinfoil sack sitting by the door into the rest of the ship at the end of the cargo hold. So yeah, I mean that's probably pretty shiny too. And I think like maybe as you are
think
walking,
it's kind of like that moment where he kind of like just runs and it just clocks it at the corner of his eye and just stares at it.
I think the scene maybe is
Um,
like you've got like as you leave Alice, and like Zigg scurries off and maybe clocks the big shiny kind of bag. You like scurry up towards that way away from Alice, and then Nyx is maybe just in between the sack and Alice at this point, looking kind of up at Alice as if to say, some kind of weird visual apology, and then looking at where Zigg has run off to as if I need to not be in this awkward situation now. And then Alice like, oh yeah, the captain brought supplies back, and kind of like absentmindedly points at it, as maybe at this point Zigg has jumped into it.
Yep.
So yeah.
I guess I'll go grab the bag of stuff with the Zigg inside it.
I mean,
I think there's a definite like big pause between like kind of staring and taking in the fact this is big shiny bag, and
yeah.
then like
I mean,
taking a
you
beat
got to move
and
this.
then running at it.
Like, you go to move this, but you ain't moving this with Zigg in it as well as all the stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because literally it was dumped full of, like, whatever level of bulk it was at. Because it is not a light bag. And it is, like, a tinfoil blanket, so... So yeah, it's just full of all the supplies that, like, Zora literally just dumped at the door.
Yes. deal with that later.
You pretty much left Alice to be the doorman to this ship because
Yep.
the ramp's been open the whole time. Which I
I'm
love.
sure Emmelyn will be pleased with that.
That'll be fine.
It's fine. She's just a new android that we hired. Right? Right? Seriously?
Well, we'll see. So, people on the ship. Anything else happening, or are it literally just? Are you taking stuff out of the bag into like the lab next door, or are we?
They'll load it up in. I don't know where this stuff's been. Has all this stuff been dumped inside?
Literally, the stuff has been
The
like
armor and
as
stuff.
you head into like the cargo bay, like it was all in that bag, and he just dumped
Yep.
it at the door. As in,
Yep.
you walk up the ramp, you go past all the cargo stuff, and then you go to the door to get to the inner part of the ship, and he dumped it at that door.
Yeah. So I think I'd probably grab all the stuff that relates to Nick's.
Yeah.
His armor and stuff, because he needs to get the heavy armor on.
Mhm.
Well, check it over and get the shoulder laser attached.
Sure, yeah. So you can move that stuff to like your lab or room, whatever you prefer.
Well, cargo hold B.
Yeah. Cargo hobby.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by
The
lab,
goo.
of course.
Yes, the goo containment facility.
Indeed. Right, what's Zigg doing? You.
Well, he's grabbing all the shiny things.
hmm
I don't know if that equates to anyone else's gear. If it is, I do apologise.
I just like the idea
taking
that you grab all the shiny things, you then obviously just slowly drag the blanket with you that it was wrapped in, just tipping the rest of the stuff in a heap.
Yeah.
As we just see this kind of a Teflon blanket being pulled through the doorway, heading towards cargo hold B.
Yeah. I think you'd also see just kind of like as he's kind of carrying the other 4 blankets, sticking one of the folded up ones into his cheek pouch,
Mm-hmm.
just because.
Maybe doing that kind of
Shiny.
weirdly
Just
kind of
safe
like
place.
self-satisfied smile as he does, you know.
Yeah, it's like this is my safe place for my shiny thing, and I'm keeping it there.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, Zora, you hear commotion on the ship, from like your room or the mess hall or whatever. Like wherever you are, you hear the fact that people are there and they're like tipping stuff over in the cargo bay.
I would probably get up and check what it is, because I was probably quite relaxed and I'm probably quite grumpy.
I mean, definitely, yeah.
So probably stand up, not kind of like storm up, but stand up and check to see what's going on.
So yeah, like
Poke
Yeah.
a heater in the corner.
head into like the cargo bay and whatnot. Yeah.
Mhm.
You head in there. Alice just kind of like staring out the back ramp, basically, just standing, staring out the back ramp. There's a heap of stuff that used to have itself wrapped in a blanket next to you in the door. Just literally tipped over. So basically everything that you bought and the rest of the people bought, that like Colin's rifle and all the ammo packs, and just literally tossed in a heap.
Okay. I would just kind of sigh and start like putting it like where it should be. I'll probably just like put it like the weapon and stuff in like the rack that would probably be near the cargo bay. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Said it would keep your stuff in like the rack.
Probably, yeah. Like probably in the kind of, you know, here's our like our locker, if you will,
Yeah.
or getting ready to leave the ship room. Cool.
Yeah.
Probably heard like random like movements and such and whatnot from cargo baby.
Is Alice still near us?
She's literally
She- oh,
standing
she will,
at the
yeah.
end of the cargo hold, staring out down the ramp.
Yeah, I'd probably like shout at her. I'd probably be like, you probably shouldn't be standing there, by the way. Like, remember what we said about what would happen if the Aspis Consortium saw you or found you?
No. And she kind of looks at you and goes, you also said don't move or touch anything.
Yeah, but I mean, I would sigh because she is right. I mean, I did say that.
And she kind of like finger guns from her hip and then like winks and smiles as if, you know she's joking.
But just go to the mess hall. You know where the mess hall is, right?
This hall is a mess. She like points at like the mess that's next to you.
The kitchen. You're I was just kind of stop what I was saying and sigh.
And then she like just walks back in, like through the cargo bay, kind of, and then kind of stops and goes, kitchen. Brings up a map of the ship on her hand, like her holographic, which clearly, like you can clearly see it's the equivalent of like some android has done it in crayon, you know, but digitally, as if she's trying to make the map herself of the ship. But it's got like big labels on it. And she's like, kitchen, okay, closes it. And then maybe we do like a harsh cut from there. So yeah, I think with that we hear like as she does that we hear like almost the clinking of the teacup. And we go to the kitchen, only it's the kitchen where we get Emmelyn's reaction.
Ooh.
How good is that crossfade?
Professional.
Nice.
So how'd you react to Mr. Wesland's being there?
What are you doing here? I imagine she'd ask that first.
Yeah. And he smirks
What
like,
are you doing
like
here?
a proper like self-satisfied smirk he's got on his face. And he like takes one of those big kind of slurps of like what clearly you can now kind of smell it now. The smell hits you. It's a wave of nostalgia, really, really strong. Almost takes you a second like to keep your footing because it's that hot chocolate smell. Almost like he knew exactly what you came here for. You know, as if you had made the exact drink that he knows. Then he just kind of like leans behind him and then picks up like some marshmallows and dunks them in.
The bastard.
And then just slowly like slurps again a bit. Like, what are you doing here? You can see there's this tiniest of blue glints in his eye as well, as he's just kind of staring at you, like almost with like the light from behind him silhouetting him slightly from the fake window above the sink.
I'm just looking for something.
He kind of like looks around the kitchen, and then he kind of looks back at you. And kind of like his eyes like move down to the cup, and then back up at you, and he goes, "You're leaking."
Excuse me?
And he kind of like taps the side of his head, and then you hear it in your head, like that kind of weird echoey reverberation of "you're leaking," like that. How do you respond to obviously the psychic chat?
How did you know I would be here? Asked in my inside voice. Since he's opened up this channel.
Yeah, of course. He kind of smirks again, and he sits the cup down, and then you can see that he sat it down next to another cup that's been made, as if he's made you a cup of hot chocolate. He kind of like gestures towards it with his hand. Do you make any motions for it, or?
Yeah, I think they know him pretty well, and this is weird enough.
Yeah, like
Why
you're
not?
already in a weird situation, so actually
Yeah.
taking the drink of hot chocolate isn't that weird by comparison, is it?
Yeah, so I think she goes for it.
Yeah, I think with that, like you can see him slightly, like his shoulders like aren't quite as tense, and he picks up his cup again, and he takes a drink of it, and obviously you then maybe start chatting psychically, because the best thing about being a telepath is you can have your hot chocolate and continue talking at the
Oh
same
my
time.
god, that is
good,
the
right?
best thing. I hadn't even thought of that. You can
Peak
see-
psychic.
That is actually the dream.
Yep. You're welcome, folks at home that learned how great psychics are. So yeah, I think you hear him in like your head, where he says, there was something emanating off you the moment you stepped on Absalom Station. I could feel it. Again, that weird echoey, reverby voice. Like his has a wee bit more kind of weird hollowness to it than when you hear your crew, of course, because obviously like you broadcast into them and pull back the information you need.
Mm-hmm.
But his definitely has this weird, almost again, not robotic, but definitely hollow is what I mean. Like they're almost like there's more space to it than there should be when he speaks. But it's only something you maybe notice maybe after the conversation, and that kind of, if you even would have thought of it. And he says, something has affected you, and it is very, very obvious, and not exactly safe. And he takes a long time to get that word across.
Do you have any idea how to deal with it?
You can like hear the slurp, obviously, from the outside people's, and he stops and then like he just speaks normally to you. He goes, in all honesty, it's fascinating. And then like he kind of like holds up his like cigarette case with the 2 cigarettes in it, and he offers you one.
I take it.
Yeah. So again, it's the e-cig with the blue LED on the end of it. Like he takes the other one out, and he just starts like taking a draw on it again, and then like breathes it out. Do you also like take a draw on yours, or?
Yes.
Yeah. And again, I'll describe exactly what I described for Lyko that time he took a draw on it, and it's like a proper like icy, glacially refreshing kind of coldness to it. Like completely opposite to the experience of spin. This is like very cold. Again, people describe it as menthol, but I'm like, it's probably worse than that. It's probably like being like thrown into like icy water. Is the
Would
feeling.
she be expecting it?
I mean,
Has she like had it before?
probably not. This is
Probably
probably quite like because I mean, you think of smoking,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because people do smoke, like Zora smokes cigars, as we discovered from that session as well. And like smoking is a thing. I imagine Emmelyn's maybe smoked before as well, right?
Yeah, she's definitely.
Yeah. I imagine like
Oh.
you and Zora, after a job well done, probably kick up in the cockpit with a bottle of something and smoke cigars. You know, it's probably a great celebrational way where you're just going to do that until the cigar's burned in and go, right, cool, we're done. And then you just go your separate ways for a bit, you know, for like you maybe don't speak to each other for a couple of days while you're in drift travel, just to kind of detox from each other. Especially given the psychic connection as well, you know.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so this really weirdly cold, especially by comparison to drinking that really warm, nostalgic hot chocolate, you know? Like it's as I said, it's like someone just pushed you into ice water when you take a hit from this. And like you can see that it's weird that he isn't reacting that way when he takes a draw on it, because obviously you saw him smoke it, the whole thing almost like a stress relief thing when he was debriefing you guys. But yeah, so you get hit with all that kind of sensation, and like he kind of like his, you know, reaction hasn't really changed at all as you maybe react to the e-cig, and he's sitting like kind of leaning against the countertop with like this kind of half empty mug of hot chocolate and the e-cig in the other hand, and he's like, this could be incredibly dangerous for you, of course. And he kind of like gestures to you with the cigarette.
Do you know anything about this? Has this ever happened before?
And
Or rather, like, have you encountered it before?
like the camera angles on the countertop, looking like maybe from behind his like arm, like so you see like a bit of his back at the very right hand side of the screen, and it's looking onto you as you're standing in the doorway of the kitchen, and then he sets the mug down, so we see through like the loop of the mug's handle, staring at you, and then you just hear his voice saying, "It's more about where this happened that interests me." And then there's just a vapor cloud, and the camera angle switches from your perspective, and this happened on that station, didn't it?
Many things happen on that station.
You see, just like we just see the audience in that kind of weird film noir, darkish room with the silhouetted lighting. His eyes narrow, just the light at the end of the e-cig, the blue. And you just hear the word, indeed. So it seems. And then he kind of like motions like an open hand as if, go on. Like, you don't feel like, well, like in the, you knew he was pissed off when he was in the meeting. You knew that. He really seems really like friendly in a way, you know, like as if he was expecting you to be really okay with him here. Not in a hostile way. He wasn't expecting to surprise you. Like, you don't sense hostility or tenseness from him. Just curiosity in the way he's standing. Like, he's genuinely interested in whatever is going on. Much like probably you are. But, like...
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a bit of psychic jank to this man, perhaps.
Yeah, because I think Emmelyn is as kind of scared, maybe, or confused as she is. She is really interested, and now that she's found out that there's someone else who can sense it, who knows that there's something up, I think she's quite into that. I think she wants to. She's thinking of ways of how they could work on this together. Like, how much could he help her with this thing?
Definitely.
Plus, to kind of gain control over it.
The impression like he's kind of given you as well is that you might think, maybe it took you a while to notice, but others have definitely noticed. You know, that's the vibe he's given off, like, you are broadcasting, you know. And it's not necessarily a good thing. Because it's almost like, yeah, you're psychic, so your head's, you know, perhaps a meal to some people and some creatures and parasites, etc., etc., etc. You know, psychic worlds are not exactly all nice, but at the same time, something happened to you on that station that has piqued his interest, and he wants to make sure he's there helping you, not something else that may obviously compromise you in his eyes, but at the same time, it's not like he's not trying to get one over on you. Like, you know that much, and especially like when you're tightly connecting to people, you have that wee bit of an extra edge in the. You can obviously sense motive psychically in a way, you know. So he's not. Whereas before he blocked your telepathy, right?
Yeah.
He's definitely been like, no, you're you, and he expected you to obviously do that detect thoughts thing. Like, he was there waiting to be like, yeah, she'll be here, you know. She'll get here. Obviously, his agenda, etc., isn't necessarily apparent, but it doesn't. There is no flight feeling that you're getting. You don't feel like I'm in danger from him. You don't feel the anger that you had at Zora, or at least just maybe the frustration that you had with Zora, you know, or the situation, or the fact that, you know, Bradlin Button died, you know. We'll see how that goes, of course, with developments. But yeah, he's just kind of standing there with his eyes narrowed after you replied to him kind of nebulously and vaguely about the, you know, station. And you can
many things.
You can tell he's like, he definitely has way more information about the station than he's letting on.
Yeah.
But he's kind of giving you this platform.
Yeah.
To say your bit. So I think he just stares at that whole time, and maybe this is everything that runs through her head, you know, as she's like, what do I do? And he just kind of stares.
Yeah. So I think she's going to ask, how much did you know about the station?
And like, he kind of cocks his head to the side as he's kind of taking a drag on the e-cig. And then he kind of like stops and breathes out slowly, and the vapour kind of fills the room a little, and it disperses. And he's like, you know, this and that. You know how busy these deep, you know, seated research stations off the grid, off the books can be. And he kind of like does that thing where as he was speaking he looked across the kitchen, and then his eyes just dart to the side back at you as if, yeah. You know exactly what he's trying to say without him actually having to say it.
Yeah. I think she actually chuckles at this and that.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's basically being as vague as you were, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens? What does she do after she chuckles? Because he's definitely not like he's not leading this anywhere. He's waiting. Like he's
Yeah.
definitely like
Yeah. I think at this point she knows that he knows
mhm.
a lot.
And he's clearly
And
well
so
connected.
she
Yeah.
is almost prepared to just. Right. I think she'll say.
Mhm. Sorry. So you think she'll say what? Sorry.
Thinking caps on.
Mm.
Have we lost her?
Still with us, Olka? Oh, she's gone.
Oh
There we go.
no!
Wow. Have we got your back?
Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Damn, that was
So-
Hello.
suspense.
You think she'll say, and then what do we get?
Oh, okay. Sorry. I didn't
No,
realize.
we
my
all got
mic
cut out.
was-
Yeah.
Oh. Do. Oh, I forgot. No. She would say that she didn't mean for it to happen. So she says, "I didn't mean for it to happen. I just have him in my head."
Like, I think with that, it kind of like stops smoking with that one as well. When you're like, I think I have him in my head, and he kind of like stares at you like an eyebrow raised, and he kind of then almost like, okay, that's interesting. And he's like, kind of looks around and kind of like motions at like one of the pictures on the fridge. And he's like, somebody that lives here, I take it.
Did I ever work out his name? Or
Like, probably not.
no? That's fine.
Dad,
That's fine.
right?
Dad. Best dad.
Yeah. Yeah. First name best. Like, I don't know.
Well, since I'm still holding the mug, I'll just say, yeah, whoever this mug belongs to, or belonged to, or what I'd say.
Yeah, like hold up the universe's best dad
Yeah,
kind of mug.
that I'm drinking out. Am I drinking out of
No,
it?
because you're holding the one
Oh,
that he
he-
made, and then the
Yeah.
other one's maybe like just been in your hand absent-mindedly the whole time.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know how you've been smoking with this, but yeah, psychically,
Psychokinetic
yeah,
hand.
yeah, no, definitely. So yeah, maybe I like the idea of that being. Maybe that's the moment where you realise you've been holding the mug psychokinetically while you've been smoking with the
Yeah.
hand and just rotating them over with this mystery third hand. Makes perfect sense because you would, right? It would be something you could naturally do.
Yeah.
And
It's as if I have 3 hands.
yeah, exactly. A bit like instinct, really. And he kind of like narrows his eyes again and goes, "This is definitely worth exploring. Wouldn't you agree?"
Yes. I would like to know more.
And they kind of like, I think we fade out on that scene with him like smirking through all the kind of vapor from the blue light, and then I think with that we like the camera does that fade to the blue light that then flickers, and then we fade in on maybe you heading back to the ship.
Okay?
Yep. So you head back to the ship. It's probably one of those weirdly slow walks, right, where you're kind of autopiloting back because of how much has just happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think, well, as I said, I like the idea of fading out kind of vaguely on how that scene ends as you head back to the ship. Like, do you do anything on the way back to the ship, or just kind of amble your way back?
I feel like she would probably go pick something up.
Did you leave
To-
the cup, though? Or
No.
did you take it with you?
No, she takes the cup.
Okay, cool.
She takes the cup. But I think she would, just to have an excuse as to where she was, she would go to a shop and just get something.
Yeah, like just buy like a random,
Or
like,
maybe-
I don't know, bar of chocolate
yeah,
or some
maybe-
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like some food, some
Mhm.
treat.
Space cake or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you buying space cake for everyone?
Yes. I am
Excellent.
buying space cake for everyone
Excellent.
because I feel guilty about the fact that I'm not going to tell them about this.
Yeah. It's good though. It's good. I mean, you've been missing for a couple of hours. You didn't answer any of our com messages. Maybe you've looked at your watch and you went, I'm not going to touch them because then they'll see that I've read them. I'll just go
See
buy space
that.
cake. Yeah. So maybe we just see like, maybe it's that absent-minded thing where we see like from inside the shop looking out of the window, like the holographic window pane that flickers every now and then because it's a budget place on the lower levels. And you walk past and we just see you stop, turn around, and then just kind of absently see the cake in the window, and you go in and just then cut to you heading up the ramp with like the bag with the cake in it. Alice is in the cargo hold, but obviously she looks different, right? Do you acknowledge her? That was she's gone again. Yeah, you're back. It's fine.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
I was saying, so obviously we did that harsh cut of you heading back up the ramp with the space cake. Alice is obviously standing in the cargo hold, but looks different, quite a bit different now. Do you acknowledge her?
I think she stalling.
Because I mean, I'll describe it. We're obviously maybe as you're
Yeah.
heading up the ramp, we've got Alice heading back into the like cargo bay because obviously she was told to go to the kitchen herself, but obviously she clearly didn't stay there. She's done her own thing, of course, and she's heading into the cargo bay because that's kind of where she likes standing. And then obviously as she's heading in, you kind of see like her face light up a bit, quite literally, with lights, and she smiles, and she slowly walks towards, obviously a lot more gracefully than before, more like how the hologram used to move, except with the weird projecting, and she's got that slender black form and everything as you head up the ramp and you're in the cargo bay.
Yeah. So I think Emmelyn would, as she's walking up and she's seeing her, she'd kind of give her like a look over up and down, and then just go like, oh, right, okay, but not actually out loud, but just be like, with a, a bit like, right, okay, I guess this is a thing, kind of face, and just keep walking.
Yeah, and I think like obviously Alice smiles and is like, "Welcome home," and then like kind of smiles at you. She then hits like the button at the back of the cargo hold to lift the ramp up, because obviously everyone's home, right? We're going to assume Lyco's obviously on the ship somewhere, because he's finished his detectiving at least for now. And like the ramp just kind of goes up, and then I think maybe like you head back, and like where do you head straight away? Do you go to the room? Do you go to the mess hall? Do you look for someone? Do you go to the cockpit? What's her instinct when she gets on? Because obviously you got this cake. You feel bad that you're not going to tell people things.
I think she would go to the. Are the people in the mess room?
Well, ask them. Like, where is everybody? I mean, it's probably been quite a few hours.
I assume I'm still sitting in cargo hold B, working away.
So maybe as you leave cargo hold A, and get to like kind of the midship part, you can probably hear all the noises, probably from Zigg rambling on about sun facts while Nyx is working, most likely, and then obviously whatever Zora's doing, wherever Zora is.
I would have probably, I don't know, I would have probably went to go see Nyx about this second-hand thing that needs to be adjusted.
Your one previous owner, Jump Jet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe maybe we just as she leaves cargo hold A and she hears like the clanking noises and the sun facts coming from cargo hold B, she turns around and like you've just walked round the corner as if heading that way as well, and you just bump each other into the corridor.
Kind of stop, get a wave. But what'd you get up to? Took a while.
I got his cake.
Would kind of be like, oh, see, I don't know if he likes cake. Probably doesn't like
Also,
cake.
let's take this point here. Have you bought the crew snacks before when you have covered up things? Like, is this a thing that maybe you've done before? Because I love the idea that Zora just raises the ocular ridge as if to say,
What did you do?
like, I know not to ask because I know you won't tell me type of, response.
Yeah, I do quite like that. Yeah, I think we'll go with that.
Yeah, because, like, I think any time she buys you sweets, Zora, you know it's because she's like, something happened, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, but in the past, it's never been anything like super
Yeah.
bad. It's fine.
Yeah.
Right?
So yeah, I think Zora, you've got that vibe of, something went on. You know why she was delayed by hours and hours. You know that she probably will tell you in her own time eventually. So the cake is the best thing to tide you over. So maybe you just go
Okay.
whatever, then head off to the cargo room.
Yeah, cool. That sounds like
But
a good idea.
I feel like I would have bought a cake that he'd like.
Yeah,
Okay.
Like I know the crew likes this.
like an angry cinnamon cake or something.
Angry.
Probably some spicy sort of cake.
Yeah.
Like a spicy cake.
Maybe it's several smaller cakes.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it looks like an explosion.
Using a handle, I don't know, have lips, Like,
Yeah, many small cakes, so you conquer more when you devour them.
that's good. I like it, yes.
Hmm. Yeah. Zora, you head into the obviously cargo hold B. What do you walk in on? Like, what's Zigg and Nick's actually doing as Zora walks in? You've probably had a couple of hours of tinkering, so
I don't know. It depends how successful we've been in our
I mean, it really
In
doesn't.
our-
magic box.
Tinfoil tracker build.
Also, like, keep in mind, the assembly ooze is in this room in the containment unit. How has Zigg reacted to that, please?
Oh, is it in the same? Are we in the ooze
Yeah.
room? Okay, this changes everything.
Like,
This is my room.
90%
room.
of this room is containment unit ooze. Yeah.
I think upon first seeing it, first of all, he'd just be enamored by whatever this is because he has no idea, and I guess he'd just turn to Nick's five and be like, what's this?
That's an assembly ooze. It constructs mechanical devices.
I think as you were saying
Technological
that and you just
devices.
look at it, it just does that little kind of like ripple, a little it's kind of silvery shimmer to it, as if it's just nodded.
I want to
can-
touch it.
I wouldn't suggest that. I mean, you're organic, so you probably. No, I wouldn't suggest that.
Oh. You see, like his ears kind of like kind of flop down a little bit in that sort of disappointed
But if you
mouse face.
if you find any spare metal scraps, you can throw it in and feed it.
I immediately spew out the tin blanket from my cheek pouch and throw it at it.
Well, I mean, it hits off the containment unit, so yeah.
We
You could
need to.
deactivate the containment unit if you wanted.
Can I just deactivate like a small portion of it?
I mean, sure.
Yeah.
Roll
So
computer.
it doesn't. Yes.
Or engineering, your choice, right? I could see an argument for both.
Containment.
I know what next session's going to be
This
like.
can only end well.
This will be fine.
I mean, I think what you do is you go to like, open like a slither of the field so he can like kind of, ring toss in this blanket thing. But you like do that thing where you've accidentally hit play in a video where the volume's really loud, so you panic, and then you go to like hit the button again because you've just deactivated a whole wall panel. And like the assembler kind of just like wobbles a little, and then like kind of like the bottom kind of part of the cube kind of like stretches out as if it's feeling for where the field would have been, and then you hit the field back on and it shimmers back on. But by this point, you've thrown in the blanket.
Yes.
So yeah, the blanket's just like half wrapped over it, kind of half obscuring it. Yep.
So is it not being absorbed? Or is it?
No, it's just kind of seems to be sitting there, covering you know, almost a whole side of it, since the blanket is 5 foot squared and this thing is a 5 foot cube. So, yeah, just seems to be wrapped in the blanket.
I turn and look at Nick's 5 kind of disappointedly, like just expectantly, like was something supposed to happen?
And I think at that you hear like a sloop and a thunk, like a helmet has rolled across the ground, like within inside the containment unit. The blanket's gone. As you like the camera looks back up at it, but then
One
like
turning,
it's slowly
zigzag
absorbing
wide.
like the helmet again. So it's obviously hit off the containment shield and rolled back to it. It slowly just eats the helmet again.
See?
Oh, the
Assembly
see?
views.
As if it has explained everything. I think with that as well, like maybe that's when you finally. But that's probably happened as soon as you got in the room, right? Let's face it.
Yeah.
That was probably the first thing Zigg would not have waited to have asked that. But yeah, what have you been up to since then? Have you been trying to like build things or whatnot? Because I think what I'd like to do is I'd like to do the actual mechanical rules of building and whatnot, like when we know the exact rules for tinkering. So we'll do that as our admin project between sessions and then for next session, right? And you can give me a list of everything you want to have done, because you have several hours to kill. So you can probably get a lot of, like a fair chunk of work done in those hours. Like you could probably like attempt to mount stuff on. I want to kind of go back to the present time where Zora walked in. So obviously we can decide what user staring at into the floor, but user probably mid tinkering at least.
Yeah. I think whatever we're looking at is like Conspiracy Craig's guide to residual magic tracking.
I think we're deep in a forum
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
8 tabs of like space Wikipedia open. Excellent. Yeah. So Zora, what happens?
Yeah, so I guess I would kind of, as I walk in, and I would see the shenanigans, I'd probably just kind of
Like
shake my
half
head
wrapped
and
in
not
tinfoil
ask.
blankets and bits of cardboard lying around, and a crate of like grain used as a seat for Zigg for some reason. Like,
I'd kind of just shake my head, like, just not understanding what's going on. Like, you'd probably just let it go. That's probably a normal sight, to be honest. Like, I guess this is probably a normal sight at this point.
Yeah, I imagine it's not the first time it's happened.
Yeah, I quite like the idea that like Zigg would come up with some sort of weird thing that needs to be made but doesn't understand how things work and just assumes Nick's 5 knows everything.
yeah, because like the universe kind of makes all the connections for Zigg anyway. So,
Yeah.
like, why would you ever need to know how to staple tinfoil to a bit of wood?
No.
Right? Yeah.
And yeah, Nick's trying to understand the technological magical mix without any actual magical skill.
Absolutely love it so much. Right, see for this, I want you to write conspiracy contraption. I don't care who types it, just somebody can type it for me.
Oh.
Or both, I don't really care.
Seems
That's good. And then I want one person to roll, like Zigg, you roll mysticism, and then Alex, you roll engineering. And
Yep.
we'll use this for whatever the hell happens for next week, because this is going to be hilarious.
Engineering. There's a natural 20.
Oh my god, amazing. remember when I said earlier you would
Yeah.
roll that?
Yep.
I have no control over roll 20, by the way. Just so she's know.
Jesus.
Zigg, can you give us a 1
Oh.
maybe?
Okay, sure. Mysticism. Badoop.
That's not bad.
No, that's a nice.
That's alright. That's,
Nice ten.
that's exactly the same as last time.
Yeah, it is. You know exactly as much as you did. Amazing. That's so
But I feel like
good.
Zigg thinks he knows, you know, that sort of very, like, teenage way of, like, well, I've got a little bit of knowledge, therefore
I know everything.
I
right?
know everything.
Oh god. Let's see. Conspiracy.
Because Nick has created an account for these forums
Yeah.
and is responding to every thread.
Yeah, it's like, but someone's replying. Even if they're trolling you, you're like, but they've replied, so I should reply.
Yeah.
Conspiracy.
I think he's gaining extreme popularity within the forum as well.
Not 20 inch.
This way, he's got his side career built now. Can I take conspiracy theorist as a profession?
I mean, after today, probably. We'll see how that goes. Detection for residual magic energy. Energy made. 2 seconds. Just make myself a really detailed note here. Made from wooden crate. Plus tinfoil blanket. Plus misc. Right, okay, so I have that. That's perfect. Thank you so much for that. I love it. I just said I'll let my brain decide what the hell that is next week. Yeah, I think with that, Zora, you've walked in. What are you saying to them? Because they're sitting with like tinfoil blankets stapled to wooden boxes and look really pleased with themselves.
Yeah. After shaking my head and ignoring what they're doing, I just kind of turned to Nix.
I think as well, maybe what happens is you walk in, you look at them, you turn round to like the right hand side, you look at the assembly ooze. The assembly ooze like throws a knife out at the kind of containment field, it falls and then it slowly pulls the knife back in. And then you kind of turn back to them.
Yeah, and then I'd be like, Nix, I need you to... He would just kind of look again, he'd just shake his head. I need you to look at something. It's these jump jets. Did you adjust them a bit? It's like they were used by a puny man before.
I think Nix is probably quite excited with himself at this stage. So he probably jumps up as eager as you've ever seen him. And saying, of course we can get those working.
Yeah, because you've got like this renewed sense of like, I can build anything, right?
We shall make them work, Captain. As I start stripping bits of them out.
Like, even as he's holding them, you've got like a screwdriver in them already. I like that. I did like Zora just awkwardly like lets go of it, and he just backs off.
Just the lights are glowing brightly and.
Yeah, nice green LED eyes. Yeah.
I was just kind of nod and probably just turn away at that point. Business.
I think maybe like as you go to leave again, you kind of look to the left as you're about to leave the door, see the assembly is. It kind of wobbles a little. You just look back out the door and head off.
I turn around and say, don't break them.
They'll be better than they've ever been. You'll fly.
I kind of raise my head at that and walk out.
I think as Nick says they'll be better than anything, Zigg would kind of run up his back and nod assuringly.
Like almost
Probably
like you're
my
agreeing with him but looking at whatever he's talking about for the first time.
Yeah.
I'd probably make my head rise higher. As if it, like,
Just slowly back out the door and
Almost
close the
vertical.
door over. Brilliant. So yeah, I think we maybe fade out on you guys there. Emmelyn, did you head to your room? I think after you bumped into the captain, or did you go to the mess hall and maybe put like your hot chocolate and your marshmallows away? Your cake?
Yeah, I think she would go to the mess hall, put this chocolate away, put the cake on, like, I assume there's like a table of some sort.
Yeah.
And psychically say to everybody, there is cake.
Yeah, I think you hear obviously everybody's response psychically, whoever chooses to, like in whatever way they want to respond, because I want to make sure that Lyco can respond knowing that there's cake if he needs to as well, who's probably in the room thinking about conspiracy theories of his own based on whatever detective stuff he was up to. And I think as you go to leave the kitchen, we have you leave, and then the lights like obviously go off because they're automatic. Let's face it, when you go in and go out, it's energy efficient. And as you leave, the camera angle lingers in the kitchen that extra second or two, and we see like a figure in the corner, very reminiscent of the silhouettes from the space station. And then it flickers away as soon as the lighting is gone. We then have everybody like kind of go about their business in that nice wee montage of the ship as people are doing their stuff, and we've got Alice in the cargo hold, kind of like looking at the door with like her lips all screwed up, and then looking down at the crate in front of her that says Grain, Zora's, and an angry face on it. She kind of looks at it and she's like, "You said it was okay to be vague." She like rips off the top of the crate like effortlessly, like pushes the grain aside and like lifts out this kind of like really weird kind of like kind of faceted big kind of almost like the size of a football, but maybe it looks like a big D20 is maybe what you would associate it to look like. And she looks at it and she's like, "Here goes," and then just like kind of starts activating a whole bunch of the buttons on all the faces of them, and then it just starts to engulf the ship in a massive field of weird multicolored light. Nobody's really aware of this because it all comes from like the cargo bay, and it just wraps the ship. And then from like we get the shot of the hangar bay where the ship is, all this weird light is starting to swirl around it, and then the ship just goes and vanishes from Absalom Station.
Oh dear.
Well, I'm not happy about Alice right now.
Then
Oh.
Oh.
the ship violently hits the surface in what like is a very, very like dark, echoey kind of like area that you can't really see, that it's too dark to see. Like the cargo ramp goes down. Probably everybody runs because you know they've got the warning of the cargo ramp opening. There's probably like some kind of lighting structure which lets you know what's opening where on the ship, like the info panels and stuff. All of you, because let's face it, I'm just GM controlling all of you right now, probably rush to see what the hell just happened, right? Because it just feels like the entire ship was smacked to the ground, quite violently. And you all run out to the cargo bay A, and Alice has already wandered off out. You can just see her in the distance. You all run out, obviously, after her, automatically, because otherwise this scene doesn't have the same drama. And then you hear like as if like nostrils flaring and like exhaling really loudly, and you realise like you're in a big, very echoey, chasm-y chamber, and then the camera does that zoom out and the lighting levels adjust, and you're in a room with 5 huge dragons. And we'll end the session there. So
Oh shit.
oh, we've lost. Was it that bad, Zigg? Was it that bad you disconnected there?
Yep.
So, I have a suggestion for the name, just to get straight in there with a name suggestion. Welcome Home is my suggestion. Because
I like it.
Alice said it,
I like
and
that.
also exactly what happened to
Emmelyn.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm open to suggestions. Of course, you guys can lobby with suggestions as well.
I'm willing to ask. Yeah, I mean,
I don't think I can come up with
No,
anything.
I can't come up with anything better than that, to be honest.
I just
So-
feel like
Yeah.
it's also like why I made her say that on the way back in, because I'm like, that's probably the best thing to do, because I like the I was going to go for like Home Sweet Home or something that way, or like Reflecting earlier, but then we did so much more that I was like, no, I kind of like that half the session was in some person's house.
Yeah.
And also, obviously, everybody getting back on the ship and Alice be like, hi, new home, you know, all those little vibes. So yeah, it's good, and welcome home.
No, I like it.
So, let's start with Olka. Do you want to give us some highlights? While you think, I'll give you my highlights. I actually think, obviously, we're a wee bit off kilter this week. I don't know why. I think it's just because I'm really ill, and we're obviously down Lyko, who does generally lead a lot of the RP in some situations. He's usually the first reactor in a lot of places. So it was good to know that the session ran really well, I thought, without necessarily, again, a first reactor that way. You sometimes find in RP groups that conversation dies when you lose that person, when you realise who led verbally the group. So not to say he did, but you guys were great. I'll be honest, like I was a wee bit worried that maybe it would be slow, but I got across way more than I wanted to in this session. So thanks guys.
I think
it was great.
it helps that we were all kind of doing our own separate thing,
Yeah.
so we had to be the ones to react.
Exactly. I mean, I'd kind of split you guys up a little. Not really, but you guys did it now, really embellished it. So I'm pleased
Yeah.
for that. Also, my other kind of highlights on how, again, I'm still just, again from last time, how Zora never killed Wesland. I just still, that still resonates with me. But no, just Zora's kind of looking after the crew in general, like the captainy vibe of, you know, looking after the crew, but as soon as I've got all the ship duties done, because Zora refueled the ship in the last session, Zora got all the supplies, like literally all of the supplies, dealt with the guns, as awkwardly as that might have been, and so did obviously Emmelyn helped with that by actually, you know, possibly making the situation a whole lot worse. And then, and then obviously just kind of leaving your crew to do what they want. Like, I like that. It wasn't oh, I'm going to chase up the crew because I'm the captain and I want to RP with these people. You actually went, no, they've got their own stuff to do, and that felt real. When you docked on somewhere familiar like Absalom Station. The natural 20 for that engineering check is one of my favourite things. Oh, I can't wait to have so much fun with that next week.
Nothing will go wrong.
Oh, it's going to be great. Yeah, like, I'll be honest, I love the Nicks and Zigg, like the Zicks relationship building. I love all that.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say actually. I like the stuff with the ooze and the tinfoil blankets and
The conspiracy.
The conspiracy. I just love that.
That's good. That is really good. Yeah, carry on. Okay, like, take the floor.
Well, I think for this session, it's really like well done you, Ryan, because I really, really enjoyed where you've taken Emmelyn and also the rest of the crew, and the dragons at the end. Like, what? I love that.
Yeah, like, I do like that whiplash thing, don't I? So
Yeah, suddenly dragons. Yeah, it's. I like the fact that it doesn't feel like we're, you know, going slow and ramping up to something big. Like, it's straight away
yeah,
big things.
it's good. I also love
Straight
it.
away,
You gave
going
me the
down.
opportunity though by thieving some random guy's cup that I got all this like
Yeah,
story
I am
idea
actually,
though.
but I love what you've done with that. This random bit of like throwaway RP.
Oh, we'll see how throwaway it is. We'll see.
Oh god.
No, it's awesome, and thank you. Like, as I said, getting you guys into certain mindsets and both comfortable, uncomfortable, funny, and like serious, and obviously that's where I learn like what works for me and what doesn't. So it's good to see you guys reacting the way you do. It's excellent, quite frankly.
It was actually a bit scary. Well, not scary, but like there was like the way you've described it when she was in the house. It was a little bit actually unnerving, considering I am alone in my flat.
Mm-hmm. I am
There's
sorry
a
if
little
that
bit-
was a bit too real in that
No,
regard.
it was good. It was good.
Yeah, what about you, Nico?
Was that maybe?
Yeah, what about you,
Just
Nico?
got
Yeah.
off there. Right, cool. I enjoyed the Zix. The
Yeah.
shenanigans. There's a lot of good shenanigans. I also liked how Olka handled the psychic Wesland shenanigans.
She's definitely a lot more capable of handling Wesland than you were. No offense.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I liked to contemplate, and I even just like having a hot chocolate when you were there. It was just like,
Oh, that was yeah.
That'd be-
Let's just all talk about how the psychic conversation, so you can enjoy drinking hot chocolate,
Oh,
right? That.
That's so good.
Oh,
enjoyed this.
Uh-huh.
Enjoyed this. What else to enjoy?
it was good as well because I didn't want to focus too much. And I don't mean this in a bad way. But I didn't want to focus too much on Zora because I really did last time, and I don't mean that in the sense of there's certain screen time rules or anything. But you and Wesland had a lot to deal with for the last two
Yeah.
sessions, really. So I was like, I really don't. I liked the fact that you were happy to let the crew kind of run about a bit as well. As I've said it before,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's good.
Seemed definitely like a transition period. Zora's probably very chill in transition periods.
I also love your interaction with Alice. She just, sure, Alice type responses. It's good. What about you, Alex?
Well, obviously, first off the cuff was the natural 20. Just perfect timing.
Yeah, honestly,
I have to mention that.
so good. Thank you again.
The dice are sometimes kind to me. So I'm looking forward to where that goes. And yeah, just the idea of the some conspiracy nut forum.
It's so good.
It's why I failed the help role.
Mm.
I'm looking forward to where that goes. But yeah, the way the crew dynamic are developing, I'm really enjoying.
I love it.
Like getting the feeling from like Zora almost takes on at times a bit of a parental role of these utterly chaotic individuals.
Hmm.
Not utterly chaotic, but a little bit wild because they've each got their totally unique charms and skills.
It's so
It's almost like
Guardians.
he's hurting them.
It is
Yeah.
so Guardians. The vibe has hit. Without really like necessarily trying for that, it just is the way it went, and I love it.
Yeah, and I'm really actually enjoying exploring Nyx through Zigg, like having that
It's-
contrast.
It is good because it is the odd couple vibe, isn't it? Of like, it just works. I like that you both took to a problem that it's like, what is the answer to this? Is it the computers engineering vibe? Is there a logic to it, or is it the mysticism angle? Is there an overlap somewhere?
Mhm.
So yeah,
And I kind of like the idea of the kind of his energetic approach, almost rubbing off on Nyx when things are going well.
yeah, like when you did at the end when you were reacting to Zora being like, "Oh, I've got more things you could tinker with," and you're like, "Yes."
Yeah.
It's good.
So
Really good.
Oh, I did like that as well, actually. But we see that.
I really like to see just the image of you like uncooking your hands from it, as obviously like Nyx and Zigg are already in about it, and you're slowly backing away. Going, well, I guess that's solving itself. What about you, Calum?
Yeah, I'm definitely really loving the sort of Zix dynamic type thing. It's just really fun, kind of playing with it. I kind of have to echo what Olka said with just well done, Ryan.
oh yes,
that whole psychic shenanigans is just really entertaining for me, and I was kind of really upset that you didn't pick up like after the break, like straight where you left off.
Oh, I mean, I do that just to screw with everybody. Let's face it.
And yeah, I did like the Zora kind of just, I'm the captain, but I'm gonna let the crew kind of just do their own thing. I'm not there to interact with them all the time because the crew need to do crew stuff.
Yeah.
I thought that was just really
There
nice.
is that
And-
obviously that worry in RP where everybody always feels need to cling to each other anyway, because obviously you never
Yeah.
split the party. But I think see when you get like, I wouldn't call this necessarily downtime, but let's face it, it kind of is. I wouldn't call it
between
this thing.
missions.
Yeah, exactly. It's between like the drama, as it were. Oh wait, no. And then yeah, it's been a fun being able to obviously.
Transition period.
It's been fun telling that story. I think as well for me, I like doing giving you guys the room to be your characters is fun, because it's the stuff that a lot of again in my experience, a lot of games skip over the why you do stuff and the what it does to you afterwards. Like for example, I love being able to explore someone like Alice a bit more with different ways, because obviously there's like a level of trust you've built with her. She even stated it at the end of one of the session 3 or something, where she's like, I think I need to trust you guys now, so you can trust me. And then you've got moments like this where obviously from an audience we know what happened, but as the characters you just don't know what happened to your ship right at the end, when it just gets it gets plonked down essentially in this chasm, this cavern-y type area. You just know that Alice was the first one out the back door essentially. Beyond that as well, I love the ability to explore Wesland more with you guys, because obviously Emmelyn got a way different side of Wesland from the official meeting debriefing, because she's got the first instinct of, well, here's him getting your information, you guys kind of handling him a little, and then him giving you guys more info from I trust you guys, you did one job, let's up it a bit if you want some more money, here's a really expensive job you can go off and do. Then you saw the second debrief of him being a bit more angry and being clearly frustrated, because he's like, I need to be angry at something, and I've just killed 4 people, so I can't be angry at them anymore, and yous are still here. And obviously trying to get a rise out of the Vesk, and then obviously
Someone can speak to him now.
but that's it. Plus now him and Emmelyn have that moment, and it's why I like
Good.
fading out vaguely on things, because I'm like, that could have ended any way that. In my head, he was just there doing the dishes of those 2 cups before he left himself, you know. Picks up his jacket, slowly puts his suit jacket back on, and then just casually walks out of the room, you know, long after Emmelyn's left, you know. In that kind of way where he just puts the cups exactly back as he found them and stuff like that. But that's my own headcanon, not necessarily what happened as we faded out. But yeah, it's nice to explore shit like that. It's always fun running for you guys. I actually thoroughly, this is the highlight of my week, to be perfectly honest, when it comes to running this game. Super fun.
Aww.
Yes, I know. I'm ill. I'm emotionally compromised. Sympathy.
Quickly take advantage.
Quickly take advantage. Can we get level 4 items? But yeah, I'm looking forward to what the hell you guys do. Can't wait to see Colin's reactions if we get him next week. Yeah, anything else on the ad before we sign off? Because I'm good.
Can I just say I'm really enjoying Emmelyn being Emmelyn. Like, everything that she kind of decides to do is everything that I would think that she would do. I think just Olka's playing her really well. And
Oh, thank you.
it's just, yeah.
I take a lot of time trying to think of how would she act in any situation. It's a bit tricky,
You definitely.
but it's getting easier the more like I get to know her.
Plus, it is very like something Nick said from work. Hello Nick, by the way, as well. He actually said to me, he's like, you can tell from session, like he was talking about session 7 and 8. He's like, see when you listen to them then versus like session 1, you can see they're so much more comfortable not only with their characters but with each other. And he's like, it's so good because he said he's been enjoying the game from a, you know, you've got the character level, you've got the player level. He's enjoying how you guys interact with each other as people. Never mind your characters. And then obviously said he liked the story, which was obviously nice for me. But yeah, it's been good. You guys, like, not even just yourself, Olka, because I don't put players in easy situations, as you've noticed.
Really?
But like, you did everything that I'm like, no, that does. Like, nothing you did made me think Emmelyn would never do that, based on what I learned thus far, which is good. If anything, I just feel like I learned more about her. Because when you were like, yeah, like, see when you were exploring what do you do, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna psychically look for people, and you go, well, of course you would, because that is literally everything we've ever seen you do. When you've got a curiosity, you go, I'll psychic it, and we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been good. Same with like obviously Nix 5's curiosity about going, I have this information I've compiled. Can you mysticism this, please, to make it make sense? Like with Zigg, because it is like that kind of almost like you're trapped within the rules of coding. It does, like, it genuinely comes across, and it's a hard job to do when you have to be so like almost flat voiced in that way. It can be difficult, but it is good to see. Especially, I'm loving that you and obviously Zigg are having this time together, because it really does give the. Now, this is what an android and a small mystic rat would be like when you're like, well, of course, this is how they would interact, because, you know, I imagine for most of it, Zigg was probably like rocking back and forth wrapped in like the tinfoil blanket, while then occasionally handing things to Nix as he's building it.
That's exactly how I pictured it.
Yeah, that's exactly how I pictured it as well.
Anyone that wants to draw art of that, that'd be amazing. But yeah, it's been good. This has probably been the longest after game chat we've ever had.
Plus
yeah.
the pre-game. What a treat.
Plus the pre-game, so this is like the longest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like we didn't skimp on actual content either in the middle.
No.
So yeah, you're welcome, Nick, quite frankly.
I hope
Nick, you better appreciate this.
I mean, something humble. Like, please keep watching, because it's nice to know someone's enjoying the story that isn't just us in it. So, yeah. Yeah, anyone that gets this far, thank you. And leave comments if you want. I'll do my best to read them. And I can't say I'll reply unless they need a reply, I guess. And
I will reply to all your comments.
there you go. Because Calum may, in fact, regain the precious title. And, yeah, we will see you guys next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
It was fun.
Bye.